Hi everyone, I'm Shane, product manager at OCLC. I'm going to talk about how we are promoting IIIF through CONTENTdm. For those who aren't familiar with it, CONTENTdm is OCLC's digital repository service. It's a full stack technology platform for building and showcasing digital collections. I want to first give just a very fast sketch of where our users are. Here's an example of a site in Texas in the United States. This is the Harry Ransom Center, University of Texas at Austin. They have a lot of interest in Mirador specifically. They were very excited when we added support for IIIF. This is a site in Holland. This is Göttingen, a research university there. They have a lot of really interesting scientific content, both historical, and they're also supporting current research as well through their digital collections. And then to bounce to another continent, this is the Auckland Council Libraries in New Zealand. They chose to do a completely custom UI on top of CONTENTdm, and when I was consulting with their web developer, I strongly encouraged them to use IIIF, and they did so. They added OpenSeaDragon into their fully custom interface. So how are we participating in IIIF today? We are contributing to standards development work. You will have heard Jeff Mixter, my colleague who's here, mentioned. He's on the technical review committee, and he's also been pretty active in the change discovery API development group, and he is doing some testing and prototyping of the activity streams API. We have a lot of content in CONTENTdm, so we're able to hopefully help with scale a little bit. So we've got about 11 million items in this activity streams endpoint that he's created. I think this is another key point about CONTENTdm. We are able to provide support to a lot of institutions that wouldn't otherwise be able to engage with IIIF. Not everyone. There are some quite fancy institutions that use CONTENTdm, but a significant number just wouldn't have the staff, the technical staff, to devote to building that infrastructure. So that's a key thing I think we bring. And then, of course, expanding awareness about IIIF. Not everyone, as we all know, I think we all have struggled with this in various contexts. It's a little technical. It's sometimes a little hard to articulate the value proposition of IIIF. And that's true also of our users to their own management and the people who write the checks. So we are doing our part to sort of promote and show off the value of IIIF to our user base. I think probably the most concrete way to do that is to talk about UI. So we are actively promoting real-world implementations of IIIF, and that often amounts to viewer support. So I wanted to do a little brief case study about what we've done there. We started with the Huntington Library in California. They were extremely interested. They have some fantastic collections. I think we saw in an earlier presentation this very document, this early Canterbury Tales manuscript that they have. And their archivists were keenly interested in being able to visualize this material in Mirador. So we worked with them. They very generously acted as a beta tester for our implementation, and we dropped in a little button into the CONTENTdm interface, which invokes Mirador when you click it. We've all seen Mirador a lot, so I'll skip that part. What we then did is, CONTENTdm, we're an extensible platform. We're actively promoting customization, and we've adopted this cookbook concept for easily reusable customizations. So we built that Mirador integration as a very simple recipe, and published it to our cookbook. That was a few weeks ago. Within a day or two, the University of Washington, which is in Seattle, my hometown, and also the founding institution of CONTENTdm, it came out of the University of Washington library system. They had picked it up. You can see the little M in the corner there, and added the integration. Worked fine, and they were quite happy to see. Especially, there's a lot of interest in this Sephardic Studies collection that comes from a department there, and a lot of scholarly interest. And they already are getting great feedback that being able to see this material in Mirador is a big plus. From there, I did a little workshop. So as I mentioned, many CONTENTdm users, they're not web developers. They don't have a lot of web development skills. So we did a 1-hour workshop and walked them through the recipe. It's mostly just moving files around, putting them in the right place and naming them correctly. So a pretty straightforward process. I think we had 61 participants in that workshop, which to me was fantastic to see that much interest in this subject. And by the end of that hour, many of these institutions had integrated Mirador into their sites. And this is from the 5 colleges of Ohio. The librarian there was ecstatic that she had Mirador running in production. And this is a 19th century image of the city of Oberlin in Ohio. So what's next for us? Always more API support. So if things go well, later tonight, we will have support for collection manifests for all image-containing collections in CONTENTdm. And we're also going to be supporting a site-level, repository-level collection of collections manifest. So there are some details to work out there today, let's say, but the goal was really to have it by tomorrow. So that's optimistic that will happen. And then, of course, I think we're all thinking about version 3 of the API, so we're looking at how we can implement that soon. The change discovery API implementation. I mentioned my colleague Jeff, who's here, is maintaining an endpoint there. He's going to continue to do that. He's tracking with the incremental improvements in the API. And he actually has a talk tomorrow during the 11 a.m. time slot to talk some more about that. And then we're doing some experimentation. Jeff is largely leading that in how to use IIIF to promote user discovery, do some aggregation with it. So if you're interested in more detail, Jeff can say a lot about that. And then our users they're interested in UI and customization. So I think we will continue. We're getting great reactions from our users to that work and our support there. So we're going to continue to do that. I definitely want to get support an easy model template for integrating UV. We'll certainly look at Mirador 3 as it stabilizes a little bit more. And then I learned this week about Tifi Viewer, and that's actually perfect for a segment of our users who have very large numbers of pages in their document material. So looking at how we can promote integration of all of those things. And I think really the last point is, we're a service provider. Our users have the content. All we want to do is help them. We just want to increase and promote the interest and discovery and use around their material. So we're doing training like that workshop I mentioned, just sort of generally explaining the value proposition of IIIF and showing the benefits that are that we all know, that we here all really know, but you got to get that message sent to the right people and structured in the right way. And that's it. That's what we're doing.
Great, thank you, Shane.